Prophet Adam never expected this to happen, and they were basically fallen victim to the coaxings and persuasions of Satan. And now they wanted to repent, and in fact, he wanted to repent. He had requested Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He prayed day in and day out, 5 times a day. In fact, he used to recite certain verses to persuade Allah to forgive him for what he has done, for going against the commandments of Allah, against the wishes of Allah. So he used to cry day in and day out. He prayed, he requested, he exhorted Allah to forgive him. But at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his prayers. He accepted his apology, and at the end, he asked him to go down to the earth and live as common humans. And there would be a species of his coming and would be descending of him, and they would be like humans, like any human, and they would be living a life of like a common human being, and there would be several prophets coming to that mankind, to this human humanity, and they would be carrying the message of peace towards this humanity, towards this human race, and they would be trying to tell him what is wrong and what is right and what is the right path of Allah. And they would be basically delivering the message of peace towards the entire humanity. And basically, people who would be who would be following Allah's commandment, they would not fall victim to the persuasions and coaxings and other methods that are basically adopted by Satan to make the followers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala go astray. So this was his commandment, and from that event, we humans started our race, and we descended from one human to another human, and now we are basically on this part of the earth, and we are basically the descendants of one Adam and Eve. And it's basically up to us whether we follow the commandments of Allah or not. It's basically the words of Allah which we need to adhere to, and try not to fall victim to the coaxings and persuasions of Satan and his other methods that he adopts, that Satan adopts to make his the followers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala go astray from the right path of taqwa and righteousness.